What's up? Now, let's talk about a few things, ladies and gentlemen. There's been a terrible game going around with notifications, alerts, people blocking, videos being distributed properly. There's been a lot of nonsense going on. Let's get to some real talk. Look at my neighborhood. Getting some work in, making sure my ankle is back strong, you know? So, getting the power walk in, getting the blood flowing. Yep. Now, let's get to it. We have all of these experts, and I say that in the nicest tone. Experts. They know everything. They know what's best for you. All of these transitions that you've seen so far, these new additions that they're adding to YouTube, all of these new provisions that they put in place, all of these things were for one purpose in mind. And that purpose was to control your content. See, in 2016, 2015, and beyond, all of that, you could do whatever you wanted on YouTube. You had freedom of speech. You could say what you want. Nobody was there to guard you. Because there was a time where ad revenue was given to YouTube, and they would select people who was eligible to get it. How y'all doing this morning? So now, instead of selecting that, everybody got it. Everybody got it. And it wasn't like you used to see it. It was banner ads only in the beginning. Then they switched it and gave it to everybody. Said everybody could get it. And that was in 2010. So for 5-6 years, it was a party. And people started getting crazy. People started making videos, music videos with guns, talking about it's drill time, firing shots. Next, things were gonna change. But you know what YouTube did? They promoted those videos. They had a guy named Slim Jesus, this white guy with fake guns and stuff pointing him up. Man, they promoted Slim Jesus, it's drill time. Trying to make him the face of drill music. They was promoting all of this. And it was getting hundreds of thousands of views. And everybody was monetized. So that's money. That's going back and forth to the urban community. So the ad revenue companies were getting upset with YouTube, saying, they were telling YouTube, I don't know about this. You guys are running ads on videos that's going against our beliefs. YouTube was like, man, screw y'all. We're making money. So they kept the ads going. So the ad revenue company said, oh, you think we're playing? You think you're so big that we won't pull our ads? Okay. And then in March of 2017, Armageddon happened, where in 30 days they were warned, or they were going to pull their ads. And all the major ad revenue companies pulled them from YouTube. I was on a date. I was on a date and I saw what happened. And I said, oh my God. Say bye to my house. Buy a house. Now, I was on a date. And I was checking the numbers because the date was crazy. And I remember hitting the numbers. I said, that can't be right. I was like, that's how much my video made? I was like, are they serious? So I'm like, oh, okay, it's an error. This happens, and then they would just correct it later in a couple of days. So I didn't trip. Then the second day came, and the third day came. And I mean, a revenue drop of like 30%, 40% across the board. I'm like, wow, what's going on here, Charlie? So YouTube had to come up with rules, and they were working fast. And they sent out an email to the creators to let them know what was going on. So while they were doing that, man, I gotta change these shoes. My feet are killing me in these shoes. But they made a change, and while they was changing, talking to the other creators on YouTube, all the developments was happening. They were coming up with plans because people saying, hey, we have another problem. See, the problem was the fact that YouTube was not designed to make gangbangers rich. And what YouTube was doing now was giving a platform for gang members to basically promote their gangs, flash guns, and make legal money. They don't, if they're making legal money doing this, then they don't need to be selling drugs. Police pull them over. They got pay stub from Google. So this presented itself as a problem. A major one. So, back home now. I had to go back to the house. Provisions were made, okay? Provisions were put in place to make sure this would not happen again. So the provisions that was put in place was that now you were going to have to, without a shadow of a doubt, provide content that didn't show guns. There was a language barrier. All of the things that you pretty much see today wasn't as strict as it was today, but it was some provisions put in place. Now, this will go against some of their other content that they had on there, but they were mostly targeting what the advertisers were concerned about was the African Americans waving guns, and here come a Walmart video with a family that pops up on the video every time it airs, you know. And then a lot of other consumers are feeling the same way about this content and their product being advertised in this way. So now, all of these channels that was making 50,000, 30,000 a year, some was making 28,000, some was making like, dudes like, I made 34,000 in 6 months. I don't know where I was going to end up. I was growing. Took it all down. Then there were other channels out there that had profanity, vulgar violence, but they were done with high-tech cameras by suburbanite Caucasian kids, teenagers. These were okay. So the black community said, well, this doesn't sit well with us. Why they get to do that and we don't? That don't make any sense. How they get to do all of these things, but we gotta go sit in the background. Something ain't right about this. So everybody gets in a little huddle and a rumble starts to develop. And people say, okay, I tell you what, here's what we're going to do. And we'll fix this little problem. We're going to not allow certain materials for everybody. That's what they decided. Okay? So in this whole process, YouTube decided they were going to tweak it. And they're going to let some curse words go through. Okay? To make it accessible. We just don't want a whole vulgar show. But we have to allow it because we're going back demonetizing situations that shouldn't be. Then they have this yellow dot thing that came out of nowhere. I was in Vegas when that happened. I think I was there. This was for the Mayweather-McGregor. When I was out there covering that, where they implemented the yellow dollar sign for the very first time. Threw me way off. But it was explained to me, this is the new process. That was 2017. So until now, you've seen all these implications and all these things that they're implementing, putting in there. And one of the biggest hindrance, again, to your growth as an African American creator here on YouTube is they want to control what you actually watch. They start making subscribers have to hit a notification bell to make sure that they get notified of all your videos. Even while doing that, they're only saying, oh, well, people are tired of being flooded with so many videos a day, so we're only going to send out 3 notifications now. where this never used to be the trade. Now they're only going to send 3 within 24 hours. And sometimes that's not even the case either. They choose and decide when they're going to send out a notification, or it might come out late or something. They'll come up with an excuse as to why the notification did not go as intended. Now, many people will have their reasons as to why this is, but my channel was one of the channels that made it through early on because I basically had 0 profanity. I didn't really berate anybody, and they couldn't really gauge like anything on me. Like, people would hate on it, but they would go back and be like, well, there's nothing we could do. Then live streaming came around. But before live streaming, let me get to the other part that they did. They decided that they would recommend. There was always recommendations. But now you're getting more recommendations from channels you're not subscribed to than channels that you were. They would recommend something that you might like because you're subscribed to this channel, and this channel normally fits this category. So you might like this. Now you're getting the recommendation more than the channels that you're subscribed to. So it's like, well, damn, I'm getting recommended all over the place to these people. No, I mean, not that, but you're being recommended to, and they're recommending to you all of these other channels that they're trying to increase and promote and build up. So this is why you see these channels, these big marketing channels, that they pay money to Google, YouTube. They get paid so that they can have their videos show up on your timeline. You don't even follow them. Here it come popping up on a video. You be like, I don't want to watch this. What is this doing? This automatic replay. Here it come. The next video recommended to you. And then it pops up on your screen and you go, whoa, what's this? And you turn it, they've already got their view. So their number goes up 1. How many times has that happened to other people out there? That something that you didn't want to see is recommended to you and just pops up on your video automatically. But the stuff that you're subscribed to never shows up in your recommendations. Right? Now, let's get to the next order on the table. Live streaming. Live streaming came out. They were selecting certain people to use live streaming. I had live streaming because I was one of the people that was selected to have it. Because when it came out, they were testing it. So they were like, hey, you know, we're testing this live streaming. Your channel seems to be one that's approvable because, once again, we didn't have like any profanity basically in the videos. Nothing that was getting videos taken down. So this is why when people were going through the YouTube apocalypse, it never really affected me that much. Besides that one time it dropped a little bit, it picked back up the next week because the ads they did have, they were looking for channels that were safe, that they knew they wouldn't have to worry about with their ads. Those guys were going to have the premium ads, the top shelf ads, and let them have them. So I had them all because I was considered safe. Because I wasn't having anything marginal, things pop up on my channel. Even if people were hating against the page and it wasn't getting the numbers it used to, I was still getting the premiums. Now, when live streaming came around, that's why I was chosen for this test. When it came out, the numbers were flying through the roof. I had so many people showing up, 800, 900, 1000. thousands. Then it got to the point where I couldn't get anybody on my live streams anymore. It's like, whoa, what's going on? Because the live streaming was expanding people to just jump in, and they were like, man, we could chat live, and it would show up in the live. It would be like, who's live right now? I don't know if YouTube still have that even going on, but they used to have a category on who's live streaming like right now. Like, these are the updates of who's live. And it would show me, and the people who were subscribed to me would see that, and they would see that little red dot that says live. And man, people's like, man, I went to go see the who's on live right now, and went to that section, and bam, there you were. So right away, people flocked right over. Numbers are through the charts. They found a way to stop that for me, because certain people who saw and heard a video I was saying about LeBron, and whether it was LeBron himself or the league, they started to hinder all of my videos. Then NBA cuts a deal with YouTube. They close a deal now. So now anybody who's talking about or was showing NBA content, they were being automatically flagged. Then came the illegal takedowns. You'll have a live stream and you could be talking about an event, and you might have 15, 16,000 people keep flocking to your page as you're talking about the event. And your numbers are through the roof. YouTube will get alarmed because their actual event that they have, and that the actual game that they're broadcasting, you're taking a lot of views away from that. People are just showing up to watch you talk about it. And all of a sudden, here comes a fake takedown notice. Your live stream is down. And back then, you couldn't go live again for like 30 days unless this thing was taken care of. So immediately you file a claim. They're not going to fight it, and they're going to reverse it in about 24 hours. Meanwhile, you can't stream live anymore. So that becomes a big problem. Is that squirrel again? Told him to stay off of the house. He ain't listening. Let them live in the backyard, man, and this is what they do. So anyway, back to the thing we're talking about. So they're sending illegal takedowns. They get it fixed in 24 hours. But meanwhile, your whole live stream was stopped for no reason. For no reason. Then they go and activate it. Oh, your video was fine. You can be able to stream again. This was torturous interference, and many people complained about it to YouTube. So eventually, now that is fixed, because I'm like, look, these fake takedown notices, it's got to stop. And for months it was going on. People could just file a false claim, and mostly it was coming from broadband. And everybody knows what I'm talking about who went through those experiences when you were just talking about the NBA. But I understood what they were doing from a business perspective. To them, it was smart business move. And I won't say that it wasn't for them. But for everyone else, it was looked at as very unfair. Now, where does that leave us now? Where does all of this leave us now? I would say, simply put, it leaves us in the same situation we always were in. Kwame Brown. Right? Let's talk about Kwame now. Kwame came through like a meteor. And when he said what he said, defending himself to the abuse that was being delivered to him, and he did it on Facebook. It wasn't really on YouTube yet. It was on Facebook first, I believe. And I remember I made a video listening to it. It was like, whoa, yes. And when this happened, it wasn't really, he went on YouTube and they kind of kept it going with these guys. And every sports channel, ESPN, Fox Sports, I mean, it was even on NBC Sports. Kwame Brown's name was all over the internet. He literally had broken the internet. And everybody wanted a piece of Kwame magic, to the point where it kept going to where Stephen A. Smith decided to do something to use that to promote his ESPN Plus. Right? Then it got to the point where Kwame started to go past what they like. First, they were cheering for him. Then he's like, wait a minute. Now you're talking about us. Oh, now he's talking about that. Oh, they looked past all of the things that he said. And he said all these things about coding and fourth grade educational reading level in the very beginning. And they don't even remember it because most of them listen to sound bites. And when they did that, now people went by and they were listening to it, and people are asking questions about why they're not coding in schools, and they're starting to hear this message about he's not following the agenda that's in place. He's talking back to black women in a way that they don't like. He's talking back and saying the black men should be in power and they have a voice, and why are we taking these things out of schools, and why are we not promoting the reading level education, and where's LeBron? And oh no, this ain't what we thought. Now we got to start attacking this guy. We got to start taking this YouTube thing down. See, if we take away his YouTube and take away his monetization, then it'll be done. Then there'll be no more Kwame. So, but we gotta do the breadcrumbs. We gotta do the process. We gotta make the paper trail so that we can keep going. We gonna limit it till we're just gonna say, well, it just ain't working out. And we got to take away your monetization. You see, they do this and then they'll try to lure him down. And you want to know how this is working? Ladies and gentlemen, this is working because they have people, all of these corporations that these companies are signed to, they have people that work at Google that they're assigned to, that they can call and say, hey, we're having a problem with this site. This person's attacking us. They're saying negative things about us. Send a complaint to YouTube. YouTube will see the corporation that's saying it. They won't even investigate it to who are you compared to this corporation, that's spending all this money for promotion. So they're just going to go and say, okay, limit their access or limit their distribution on their reach. Like, okay, we're limiting their reach. If this person is a problem for you, anything this person puts in a hashtag now, if you hashtag that person, they're going to try to limit it so that that person who's upset with you can't see what you're putting out, which means everybody who might be connected, let's say, for instance, LeBron James. Now, if LeBron James has a problem with me for a certain reason, they're going to try to make sure that LeBron James don't see my content, which means if I'm talking against LeBron or something that LeBron doesn't like, I will probably be removed out of LeBron's conversation. So the people that like LeBron James will not be able to see my videos either. So what they would do is they would have a troll alert or army of trolls come in and try to dislike the videos as much as possible. They try to get the dislikes up so that YouTube will say, well, see, there's a lot of dislikes on this video, so we're not going to show it that much. So they're going to try to make that the norm anytime there's a LeBron video out. And the topic of conversation will be sent to people that dislike LeBron. Then they might see it, but the people that normally follow LeBron are people that normally like him. So they want to keep only the positive, quote unquote, agenda-based content around his name that could float up. Now, if you can understand that process. But anyhow, here's how they're able to locate a lot of it quicker. They have other affiliates that's locked in to their programming, like Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. A lot of content has been shared through these platforms, but mainly the content that was mostly shared through its programming is Twitter. Because Twitter does not have, you can't record videos on Twitter. You can just send links and tag. So when you hashtag something, it's very easy to find it. You could actually tag the artist into something, but it's up to them if they want to see it. So if you hashtag it and put it in a category, if they see the title and they see the video there, they can easily pick it out. So it limits the work that they have to do to find a needle in the haystack or following your page. Sometimes you will have much more success not even putting it on Twitter if an alert has went out on YouTube. I've noticed that. Kwame's videos was on Twitter so much that what Twitter would do was keep his name up, because it was a trending topic. If you start typing his name would appear and pop up immediately. They've removed his name off the popular search. So if you hashtag Kwame Brown on Twitter, they're almost looking for it to limit it. Because other people would do it just to pump, that's followers of him, fans. They want to go in there to see his videos and say, yeah, limit that. So they're able to pick it right off. If my Carcino page puts out something and has hashtag, maybe even Drake, Kanye, or any of these major people, they will pick it up, limit it. Because probably sometime in the past I've said something that didn't agree with that artist or that entertainer or LeBron or whatever. So they limit it. So it's a crazy game. It is a very crazy game, and it's an everyday jousting match. You're jousting with this doggone system that they call the algorithm, and that's just an excuse. It's not an algorithm problem. It's a people problem. People want to limit your speech. They want to limit what you can say and what you distribute. They want to control your thought. Have you noticed that the people who are puppets are all the ones that's getting the millions of views and 500,000 views? Because they are puppets on a string. If I sat there and told you all the puff stuff I've been told this in the shortest of terms. If you've been on the Casino for Life Patreon, you've heard them basically give me this advice and tell me, you need to just play along. Like if you just do X, Y, and Z, like you will be up there, because I'm like, I don't want to be that person. Not for no money. I've turned down these type of deals. Turned down podcast deals years ago. Turned them down. Because I didn't understand them. And this is before podcasts, where everybody doing a podcast. Then when Nipsey said he was going to do his, I'm like, all right, cool, we'll do it. Because I knew Nipsey would have had everything together. He would have put everything in place that needed to be. And I could have sat there, and I don't have to be there all the time on the show. He's going to have like 3-4 people there. But I will come there, do a couple of shows, knock those out, and talk about the business of hip hop and go from there. Record contracts, how they were structured. And he saw my videos, he loved it. Like he sent me an actual tweet to get me to contact him. Like, look, I'm trying to contact you. Like, I'm like, man, me and him, I followed him, sent him the message. We was peas in the pod. Because we saw this game the same way. No one can tell anybody anything about what could have happened, what should have happened in those situations. It's every month it's something evolving. They're changing everything every month to try to limit what you can say and what you can't say. Meanwhile, you're seeing other people get away with doing everything, having people on their shows saying the most outrageous things ever. You're having all of these contents, but they seem to be approved by the Caucasian people when they do it. Adam 22 could say and do whatever he want and bring everybody on his show to say all kind of nasty stuff, F words and everything else. That's cool. They don't get flagged. They're good. Meanwhile, other creators such as us, like they tried to get me to sign up for a YouTube Black. I said, what the hell? Do you want to be a part of YouTube Black? I said, is there such thing as YouTube White? And I wasn't asked the question no more. So they asked me to be a part of YouTube Black. Let that sink in. Man, this world's crazy. This world's crazy. Now, this is where we are right now. I want to say thank you guys. Hopefully you guys have hit the like button already. I didn't have to tell you that. For anyone who super chatted to this, thank you and God bless, because those will help everybody. We make donations with those money, especially the Cash App Casino. We've cashed out donations to charities and everything else. We'll show you what happened with the STEM project too, so you can see what happened in that situation and show all the work that you guys have done. and the others that donated as well. You guys made it happen, man. You guys made it happen. We appreciate it. And you're getting things done out here. So thank you again. God bless everybody. Don't forget to follow at Kwame Brown Bus Life, at Self Talk, at this page, hopefully, and you hit the notification bell, play by their rules. And you keep supporting it, man. And if they're not giving you your videos, they don't believe you're going to complain. If you're not getting your notifications, hit that support button where it says help. And they say you could leave a comment. You say, hey, I'm not getting my notifications for such and such page, whether it's my page, Kwame, whatever. Why am I not? I've hit the notification bell and I'm not getting notified when these videos are going live. I need to know why. All of you need to do that. See, if all of you guys are doing that, if you're not getting your notifications and you feel like they're hiding things from you, definitely let them know. Okay? Because they will use every tactic in the book to try to make sure everything is working as usual. So, on that note, I'm out.